we are HEXA Food. I think some of you might know by now. We are a spice company from Malaysia. Now, in case you are not sure what kind of company we are, you can take this QR so that it will give you more context. And especially for those that are from the manufacturing side, like food manufacturing, especially, like if you have any question, feel free to ask in the chat or something. So because I think this whole session, the whole idea is to answer some of the questions, because especially for those that are just starting the business, there are a lot of questions like, should I do this, should I do that? Like there are 10 million things to do, and the correct way is to just pick a few things to do it. All right, so I'll move ahead now. We are cooks is our tagline. So what we are trying to do is we're trying to and our products is the spices. So what we are always trying to do is how to make the cooking experience more fun, more satisfying, and more Instagrammable for you guys. So this is what our second factory looks like. So we have 2 plants. This is our second plant. It's in Klang. Our first one is in Sharla. So roughly as a whole group, we have 100 plus. So we have Halal, HACCP, and ISO 22000. So last year we are 18 million. So the previous year we are 18 million. Then we are expecting to have a 20% growth by the end of this year. So we are approaching 22, exporting to 8 countries. Now, I know this is a bit boring, but it is important. There are a few things that is really important. I think for food manufacturers, probably the most important thing. Digitalization is one of it. And the whole idea, I will need to start to talk about Kaizen. So Kaizen, what it means is continuously, how does the whole team, management, operator, how do you plan to improve on a daily basis, or at least on a weekly basis? So this is very important, because you will start with this, then that's how you keep growing. It's like you keep improving throughout the whole company. Kaizen, it is the fundamentals. It's everyone should always understand that improving is part of the culture. And to be honest, it's for your own self, it's the same thing, right? Every day you will want to learn something, you want to improve, and it's the same kind of mentality. Now, why digitalization is because if you start to look into Kaizen, right, then you'll realize that usually the problem in company always involves communication. It's I tell something to my manager, then my manager tells to the operator, then eventually the loss in translation happens. So when whoever that gets the instruction, then they become very confused. So when you are doing digitalization, it's the communication part, it becomes very efficient. So try to imagine if I'm trying to talk to you for 30 minutes and you're trying to tell someone 30 minutes. If with digitalization, probably you can just cut it down to 3 to 4 minutes, because every data can be recorded and things like that. So that's why there is a lot of focus on digitalization. Now, the third part is always theory of constraint. It is a very good method. Highly recommend especially for those that are in the food related business. So once you understand theory of constraint, you just apply it across your whole company to identify what's the bottleneck. Then the fourth is implementation. Now, in order for you to implement correctly, you need to understand leadership. And always, it's not about you, it's not about me, it's about the user. So whoever that is doing the operations, how do you bring value to them? And last is this different of them with yourself. Trust that whatever that you think that is right, it should be right. So we will split on these are the sections. So sales and marketing, okay, admin and HR, accounts, logistics, right? And when it comes to operation, there are so many things that you can digitalize. So this is where like everyone starts to become very confused. Like which part should I do the digitalizations? Like should I do our sales? Should I go online and things like that? So if you're creating a website, you guys know where to go to. And it's the organizer of this show, HEXA FOOD, yeah, talk to them. So if you're admin HR, so accounts like just like HEXA was saying about zero and things like that. But regardless, like there are just so many choices for you out there, and that take time to explore on it. But like these are the areas that you can work on. So this is where we started our 2.0. Okay, I'll just do it a little bit different this time. So to be honest, I don't think I can teach any of you anything, but what I can do is I'll just share with you like at certain point in time, why did we do it and how did we do it? So 2008, just like a lot of startups. So you're young, but you're penniless. So the problem during the time that I was facing was like we were facing is like no money, we don't have any sales, we don't have any leads, we don't have any even a good product. So like you literally have nothing like during that period of time except for yourself. So what did we did during that period of time? So sales is very important because if I don't get sales, then what happens is the whole company will just go bust. So then or facts, some stuff. We also do that, but just try to imagine it's like our office manpower is like 2% or something. So ends up like if you are the director, you need to do all of this. But then during that period of time, like you are able to see like, okay, internet is picking up. It's like Google, it's like comparing the yellow pages and Google, like it's a no-brainer. It's like eventually people will just use Google. So it's like, okay, we started to go into websites, Alibaba.com, then Google SEO and SEM. So the whole idea is to generate inquiries. So the time what happened is people will just call, hey, call our office, or you guys are selling this. Would you mind to drop by? So there are not many. I think it's like on average it's like probably a couple of days. But the thing is, it is automatic, you see. So it's like one per week is actually considered very good. Like we were so happy like when they are like mid-sized company, they ask us to come and visit and things. So initially like the whole idea is like we don't have anything. So what to do? Sales is important. No sales, no salary. Then you will have a riot, and it's like you just can't survive. Like especially like, if you don't have a reach that in my case. So yeah, so we started with sales and marketing initially. We focused a lot, and it's good stuff. I think because we were like Google SEO is like not that significant during that time. So and the website wasn't like super good. It's just like very simple. Been super helpful or the #1 leads generator until today. Like for our B2B business, Google SEO is still the king. Now, so 2008, a couple of years down the road, so we are building our factory, 2014. Cool. So we are no longer what they call a mini size company. We are like right now it's like, oh, we have a nice factory, so cool. So it's like upgrade. Like everyone in the company is happier. So then I would say that we are about like 30-ish, 40-ish people during that time. Then the problem starts to come. It's like, okay, so we have a factory, but our system is still pretty bad. I think it's like when things go wrong, like you can't find like where did it go wrong and things like that. So it's like sometimes because of how data is managed and things like that. So it's like no one knows what the other person's data, because Excel, I think most people are still using Excel and paper during the time. Like you can't even monitor like whether the person key in or not. So just try to imagine like 6-7 years ago, it's like, hey, let's say you are a supervisor, so you're like, hey, have you keyed in this, and things like that. So yeah, so data communication and things like that. And HACCP is very important because it was like the first, we were moving to HACCP to export. So Google Sheet, Airtable, these were the solution, and these are free solutions. So it's like, it is very, very, very good because like everything can be, like everyone knows the data, and you don't need to say, hey, can I have this and can I have that? It's like everyone can access to it. Yeah, so we restructure, we digitalize a lot of our operation, and it doesn't really cost too much because we are using free software like Airtable, Google Sheet, but we do invest in other software as well subsequently, like HR accounts, blah blah blah. But yeah, it was during this period of time we find the need. Now, lately we I think a lot of you know that we were investing heavily on industry forward stuff, IoT, ERP, automation process. So we are trying to make the whole process automated. And why do we do that is we are beginning to export quite a fair bit, and we can't afford to have product defect, because that will mean that the product will need to be either discarded or returned. So it is really, really bad news. And the only way to make sure that there is a low defect in our product will be to digitalize or to automate the whole process. All right. So to do this, we acquire our third factory. So we are planning a lot of good stuff inside, but the IoT has been, we have been implementing. We are close to done. So that will serve as the foundation. I think some of you might have some question on this. I will get back to you later. Now, the key takeaways, hopefully what you guys can learn from this is you understand the bottleneck. Then second is like, you need to understand like which phase of business or which phase you're at. Is it the initial survival stage, or when you're stable, or when you're trying to expand locally, or if you're heading for global expansion? Because all of those will require you to do things differently. Then the third part will be digitalization can be from free to very expensive, but learning is always free. So if let's say you are going to invest in something expensive, make sure to learn it yourself, because there are just so many solutions when it comes to digitalization. And number 4 is leadership and patience. Yeah, it's not easy to execute. You need to have patience. So it's not about you. Like I know it's like manager and business owner, like you're able to execute very quickly, but it's not really about you. It's whoever that uses it. So they will need to take time to understand and things like, and sometimes they can be very busy. Then number 5 is, if you are going to pay 1K, 2K for guru, all right, so what we are doing right now in terms of digitalization. So for sales, we are exploring things like Salesforce, Zendesk, chatbots. We think that chatbots is very interesting. For e-commerce, we are working on cross-border trade, marketplace, SEM, and etc. Then, so e-commerce, the whole idea is we are trying to deliver overseas. Now, for some of you, it might be easy to do it, but for food, it is pretty hard actually, because food are restricted item in a lot of countries. So there's a lot of procedures to follow up on. So yeah, but that's what our e-commerce team is planning. We are planning to export overseas directly from our company here. Then admin account, smart ERP is what we have been spending our time, almost a couple of months right now. Then payroll system in cloud. I think pay, like once you, due to the fact we are around 100 people, so you need to have some kind of employee software and things like that to solve whichever problems that your company is facing. Dropbox Cloud, very, very, very useful. You can call it all those cloud-based. Once you use it, then you understand like, oh, okay, all the data can be accessed really, really easily. So which means that usually when it comes to companies, like people will request for a lot of documents and things like you can just you can just forward to them really, really fast. Then in terms of operation, IoT implementation, fully automated production line is what we are trying to work on. And traceability is very important when it comes to food product. You need to know like the full traceability of the food. And we are also trying to play a little bit on AI. Like this is like a side project and things like that on sorting machine. In fact, because the whole IoT implementation is very tedious, and is so we have a different department that's dedicated to do this. So it's a HEXA IoT. Then marketing, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, YouTube. These are our channel. We try some Hootsuits and things like that. But I think a lot of you out there, that probably you guys are much better than us in this. Like I think we are decently okay in this area. Then the other parts is logistics and things like that. So as you can see, when it comes to digitalization, it's like almost every single department. And what I want to highlight is in all of these scenarios, the digitalization is actually headed by our executive and not really by myself. It's like we work together, like between manager and exec. They are the one that implements all of this. So we use a different method. So we will I won't go a lot into this right now, but it's mainly about the user. Like always try to understand it's not like what you want, but it's rather like how you can make their job and life easier. So in return, they will feel much more appreciated, then things will not go wrong. So that's it for my presentation, and we still have time. Actually, we still have 15 minutes, and the Q&A. I think if you guys have anything, because I think those are the more interesting ones. So.
Yeah, so that's where I come in. So you guys, if you have any questions for Gary regarding his presentation, if you'd like to elaborate a little bit more on, the way he does things or how they manage to overcome certain things, just let us know in the Q&A box. And one has just come in. So this one comes from Lee. Lee's question is, hi, Gary. May I know how many years or months you took for digital transformation? In the year 2008, your company first started with retailer business or manufacturer business?
We went straight into manufacturing. It's actually the same, to be honest. Like it's just one shop lot. So you can call it yourself a retailer manufacturing, but basically you just do all the thing. We started in 2008, one shop lot. So it's like you have office. So if you want to call it retailer, it's fine. Then our manufacturing site, we are at the ground. So I think we started by selling curry powder and all those to Mama and things like that. So it's like more like face-to-face communication to generate leads. It's like you will need to, okay, if you guys are not aware, right, this is what happened more than a decade ago. So basically to get a sales, right, you just need to drive to the potential customer. Then you'll need to identify the purchaser, probably busy, and you need to stand outside and wait for them to be free to talk to them. So then probably they will say something, oh, today I'm a bit busy, I'm sorry about it. So can you come back tomorrow? And you need to do it again the next time, you see. So it's like, it's even harder than like trying to look for a girlfriend and things like that. So that's what happened. So which is why the internet is so important, especially because we were focusing on B2B. The reason that why we didn't go into retail is very, very, very costly. There's things like listing fees and things like that.
I'm still a little bit shocked that you use finding a girlfriend as an example. Are you sure? Because I have a few single friends who say it's impossible to find a partner, you know. But I understand what you're saying. Basically, when you start off, you know, there's that Hokkien saying, "Pao sua pao hai," you cover the land and see yourself. It's just basically what you have to do to get started.
Yeah,
And I think that's what you guys did as well, right? It was very tough to begin, if I'm not wrong.
I think it's tough and it's fun. Like especially like when I think when I was started, I didn't have much commitment due to being single. I don't have a family, so like you don't need to worry about things too much, because if you had like mouth to feed, I can empathize with that, and I think it's really like you will feel a lot of pressure. But you're single, it's like YOLO your way. I think that's what a lot of startups they're doing, is like YOLO all the way.
Correct, because then, like, the kind of risk you are willing to take is different. When you have a family, it's a lot different. There are so many things at stake, and I think that affects the kind of choices you'll make as well when it comes to starting up a business. So that was a very good question. Keep them coming. We have a lot that just came in. So this one comes from Kian. Kian's question is, "Hi Gary, may I know what is the biggest challenge you have faced in digitalization, and how did you overcome it? Thank you."
Hold on. How do I? What was the question again? Sorry, I missed out.
So it's okay, it's fine. So you can actually click the Q&A button beneath your screen. All the questions will come up. So we're doing Kian from 9:58 a.m.
Okay, cool.
So
I saw it. What's the biggest challenge you face in? I think initially it's like a top-down approach. Like you are the decision maker. Then it's like you need to do this. You need to do this. So it's like the communist style or Nazi style and things like that. But then you start to realize that you are able to do it, but it just takes a lot of vitality out of yourself. So we change the other direction. It's like, okay, we just tell them, okay, I think this tool works in whatever problems that you are facing. So we will just try it out together. Because at the end, it's the user, you see. Like for example, like previously in the past, like maybe I was handling our social media, but right now it's not really, I don't really handle those anymore. So whoever that handles it, they are the actual user.
Okay, thank you. So this one came in from Jeffrey. Jeffrey's question is, Gary, how often do you get inquiries from Alibaba?
Okay, the Alibaba, when we started, I think like really long time ago, like 2008, 2009, one of the best platform. Like we were like, we were like so shocked. It's like, wow, because we were really small. It's like, then we are able to export, because during that period of time, if you want to do export, like you need to go to exhibition. So, and if you rely on Google, you have like Nigerian prince, you have like Alaskan kings and things like that. They're trying to buy a product, but it is really good. I don't really want to comment here how is it right now, because I think but if you ask me right now, in the current year, I'll prefer Google SEO SEM. That's what I can say. But in the during that period of time, I think like Alibaba was like it's for export, for those that are doing export. It's so good. It's just really good. Like our first, second export customer, and probably third, they are all from Alibaba during that period of time.
Okay, super cool. So this next one is from Salim. Salim's question is, I saw you having a HEXA IoT. Can you share a little bit more about it?
Oh, okay. Sometimes it is better to spin off a department, so that they are able to act individually, like how we do for our e-commerce. So there's a game company, it's called Supercell. So usually when they develop different games, so instead of having like one whole department to work on multiple titles, what they do is they split into different teams. So for our IoT, our e-commerce, we just split into separate entity. And it's very important, because otherwise they will always need to follow your company policy, which at times because manufacturing is manufacturing, e-commerce is e-commerce, IoT is tech-based company. So they are all different in nature. And if you put them all together, then it's like you have a very sluggish company.
All right.
Which is why we split it out.
Makes sense too. So this next one is from Kian. And his question is, good morning, Gary. I have very positive comments on your marketing team. Can I know how many employees you have in marketing or the e-commerce team, or how many is a good number for a business? Thank you.
I can share with you right now what we have. So our e-commerce team, we have 2 person that prepares the good. We have one manager, one director that oversees the whole thing. We have one that assists the director. So it is actually a startup, and we have one more to handle the social media. So it's about 5. So they are like handling the e-commerce side.
All right. Super cool. So this one is in the chat. I just realized someone put in, you guys, once again, try to avoid leaving questions in the chat because we might miss them, especially if you guys are talking. Leave them in the Q&A box. It's right beneath your screen. Click on it, the box will come up. No brainer, literally type in your questions and hit send. So anyway, I'll still read this out. So the question is, which ERP company are you using?
For our IoT, we are working with Pronto because we are heading into a slightly different direction. I think there are a lot to choose. I'm not trying to promote whoever, but just try to understand this. There are a lot of companies that fits different size of budget and can achieve different things, and they are strong in different areas. So you will need to explore by your own self. So that's the thing with solution. It's like it's expensive, but learning the solution is free. So always make sure that you learn it.
All right, very nice. So you guys keep those questions coming. We love getting questions from you guys. Now this one is from Rachel. So Rachel's actually been here for like the past 3 days. Good on you, Rachel. So Rachel says, hi Gary, please share the digitalization of your production, especially the packaging.
All right. So digitalization, what we are trying to do is we are trying to automate the whole process. Currently, what we are doing, we are still like semi-auto, but we are going into full. It is for us. It is so for all the ladies out there. Like it's not really a man job because in our company, the person that's heading this part is actually it's a lady that's playing with all the mechanical parts and all those. Yeah.
And you also mentioned a very good point to treat, your subordinates well, because I think sometimes, bosses tend to forget. So you guys, if you can, please, treat your coworkers.
I think probably that's more important than the implementation because if halfway, whoever that's in charge, then.
I mean, basically, because they are literally the foundation of your company, and if you don't take care of your foundation, how are you supposed to build your?
It doesn't matter what kind of technology that you have.
Exactly. People tend to forget. They think oh, I have lots of money, I can hire so many people, but if you don't have good work ethics within the company itself, it's probably going to collapse at some point. So you made a very good point, Gary. All right, let's see. Okay, we're done with that question. So this one comes from Eugenia. Good morning, Gary. Do you mind sharing some of your marketing and advertising strategies on social media?
Okay, our long-term strategy is not more towards advertisement. We are not that great in advertisement, to be honest with you. But we focus on one thing is content creation. So it's like what kind of content that people want. So if you like SEO and SEM, the SEO part is more like what kind of quality content that you think that whoever that needs it, then we create those kind of content. It's just a very simple strategy. So instead of focusing on being attracting attention, what we are trying to do is like building valuable content. That's it. So it's not really a lot of strategy, but it's like, okay, what does my user want to know? What are the questions they have and things like that.
I think it's also like finding a balance between telling your own story and also kind of listening to what the people have to say, because eventually they will steer, the direction of the company.
Both works, to be honest. Yeah. Both works. Trust me. Like advertisement works, content works. Both works. It's just that content is long term. Advertisement you can get very short bursts of very spike.
Great.
Very good result.
Good. Very, very good. We're on a roll here, you guys. I'm so happy with so many questions coming in. Okay, so Bongshin sent in his question already. How useful is IoT in your production line?
If you're going to go fully automate, it is a must. If you're semi-auto, you can still consider, you can still play around. But if you're going automated, fully automated, especially like if you're at our stage, highly advisable. I think it's like once you hit 50 or 60 head count, it's time for you to start to plan that direction.
Okay.
You are able to do it before, but the thing is, in reality, is you have a lot of finance that is stuck in production, which you really want to spend on like sales and marketing to further build your brand. So it's like, unless you have like infinite finance, but if you have like finite, you really want to always like, when you're growing, it's like put it in sales and marketing first, or developing your own culture and things like that. Then when everything, the foundation is done, everything is set, go for IoT.
Okay, good advice. I like that. So this one is from Mohan. Mohan's question is there, or what is the kind of support you or other SMEs get from the big players like telcos or software cos or SMEs for that matter?
Mohan is a very good friend of mine.
Oh, hi.
He's from University of Nottingham. Yeah, Mohan and me, we are great friends. Okay, so when we try to do something interesting, so for example like IoT and things like that, then whenever like companies get to know about it, then they will try to work together. So we have a lot of a lot of toys to play with, usually hardware. We actually will work with a lot of telco for our IoT side. We have been talking with Cellcom, China Mobile, and all those, like I think there are 4 or 5 telco. Then software as well, like locally, like there are some local ERP that after they get to know us, then we also we are trying to work on something. I can't really disclose right now, but we do work with a lot of local, because in IoT it is an evolving solution. So you need the whole ecosystem to work. Like you can't just do it together, because it involves like sensors, software, technology, data, and server.
All right, cool. Thanks for the question, Mohan. How long have you guys known each other? Just
about a year. Yeah.
A year? Cool.
Since the pandemic. Yeah.
Nice. Thanks for the question, Mohan. So, in the meantime, while we're waiting, let me see. Okay, in the meantime, while we're waiting, and I was going to ask you, for some of your caliber, now we can almost say that you've made it. You're successful now, and success is something that's very easy to celebrate, especially when you're there. But to get there, you must have gone through, umpteen failures, the long nights. I'm sure you would have been at your wit's end at some point. So my question to you is, for the benefit of everyone here, like, what are your tips on dealing with failure?
I don't have expectations so much. It's like I think it's like the moment when you think that you have failed is because you have very high expectation. But let's say if you have the fundamental value, it's like things is always hard, like it's always not so easy. So it's like when you set your expectation like so low, like so every single like achievement becomes a victory. So it's like we understand like every single customer is hard. We don't have any expectation. So it's like if we get it, like we are super happy about it. But sometimes if we like, let's say if we lose it, so we ask ourselves, okay, did we give in our full effort? Then if it's not, like why we didn't do so.
So basically, don't have too high expectations. Is that what you're trying to tell us?
No, it's like you need to be realistic. It's like we are very realistic people. It's like, okay, this is a situation. Like, we try to do our best.
I think, like, out of all the speakers I've asked this question to, you probably have the most grounded approach to it. Like, keep your head down, just keep going, and accept it for what it is. So I always like to ask this question to people. So it's very fun to see the different perspectives that come out of that. So let's give them, I think, maybe 1 or 2 more minutes to see if we have any more questions. And if they don't, we can let you go. So Gary, how have you been since the last time I saw you?
Yeah, I think overall things has been good. I think, but the pandemic, I think it has affected a lot of people, mental health and things like that. So this year, in our company, we try to address that kind of issues and all those. Then like hopefully for Malaysia, we'll have a better long-term direction and things like that. I think the government side, they are pushing IoT. We are trying as much as possible to work with the government to tell them, okay, what's our experience and all those. Because I think for Malaysia, it's like everyone wants to move forward.
Correct.
So like sometimes, like I'm very good in complaining, so I can complain, but it doesn't really like I think the age has passed. Like when it comes to the current age, it's like, okay, like how can we give them good feedback and let them make better judgment? And so far all the departments that we work with, they have been very. I think it's like everyone wants to achieve that same thing. Everyone wants the country to be good.
All right, that's nice. And it's also nice to see that you're checking in with your employees as well. So, pardon me, getting a little bit, dry to throat from talking so much. But it's nice to see that you're checking in on your employees. So, personally, I wanted to check in with you as well. You're doing well on your end mentally and all that?
Yeah. You're good.
Okay, cool. So, let's take one more question. Let's go with Rachel's here. So, Rachel's question is, hi, Gary, do you produce all your products or involved in trading and import too? How do you manage logistics and the inventory system?
We have developed our own traceability software in the past, so it helps with our inventory. So it's a custom software. I think we developed it 7-8 years back. Then no, a lot of our products we manufacture ourselves, because if you look at our project. Oh, by the way, thanks everyone that has been purchasing our product. Like thank you a lot. It means a lot to us. We have been manufacturing all of them because we want to design it differently. And then if you and we understand, like for food products, okay, we want to use food products, like create very outstanding food products. We don't want to create more junk foods. So which is why, like, if you notice, like for the past few years, we are trying to shift our focus to there. Hopefully we'll get there, because like in Malaysia, like you have obesity, you have a lot of social problem, and we want to try to address those. So affordability is very important, because if you import, if you do trading, you can't make it affordable. But if you're trying to do manufacturing, then you are able to keep the price very low.
That's a very good point. So, Gary, that's all the time we have for today. But I think you know that there's one more question from Annie in the Q&A. I'm pretty sure some might not come in. So if you would kindly answer those ones, I let you go. That would be great. But for now, we'd like to thank you so much for being the first speaker for today. This is the third day, of the SMA Digital Fest, and I'm so glad to see you again. You're doing well, and we'd like to wish you all the best moving forward.
Yeah, thanks, Laurie, and thanks everyone that has supported our company. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thanks, Gary. Yeah, feel free to stay on for the rest of the day. We've got like until 5:30 today as well. So yeah.
Okay, cool.
See you around. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
All right, bye.
HEXA Grow your business online.